Deutsche Card Services. Risk management in the card acquiring business. A major risk in the card business is the loss of highly confidential card data, which is not only extremely detrimental to the company image, but can have massive financial consequences. This is why the leading card organizations founded the Payment Card Industry Security Standards Council, PCI-SSC, which in turn developed the PCI Data Security Standard, or PCI-DSS for short. Deutsche Card Services, as a forerunner in security issues, has been a member of the board from the beginning, and its platform was the very first in Europe to conform to this standard in 2004. It applies to all parties involved in the payment process, including the merchants. This is why Deutsche Card Services keeps its customers constantly updated on any relevant changes. Moreover, it offers special payment interfaces, which significantly protect merchants from many of the complicated and cost-intensive pitfalls involved in PCI as a whole. The various partners involved in the cards industry also imply individual risks. Most of these, however, are negligible for the acquirer and are otherwise secured. But it is the merchants themselves who represent the greatest risk for the acquirer, and it is necessary to arm oneself against the dangers of fraud or simple default. The major risk in connection with the merchants arises from the various transactional forms. Apart from the normal authorization, purchase, cancellation, and refund transactions, return debits or chargebacks can occur. This means that a payment submission is rejected due to an objection on behalf of the cardholder, for example. Such chargebacks can arise, for instance, in the event of a non-delivery of goods and can take place up to 120 days after receipt of goods or services. The risk is especially relevant when services are paid for in advance, for example in the travel or ticket business. In the case of a chargeback, Deutsche Card Services must reimburse the consumer, even if the merchant is unable to do so. But normally, a chargeback is passed directly onto the merchant, who can ultimately avert any eventual financial loss by filing an objection and then furnishing proof to refute the customer's claim for reimbursement. Deutsche Card Services not only immediately notifies the merchant about any chargebacks received, but also gives him the opportunity to easily react online. Deutsche Card Services has a broad base of target groups that covers all sales and distribution channels of B2C and B2B markets. Its clients range from European small and medium-sized firms and large corporations up to European-based subsidiaries of international conglomerates in the most widely diverse sectors, such as retail, the travel and entertainment industries, suppliers of services and digital content, insurance companies, as well as public services. In order to minimize the risk represented by the various merchants, Deutsche Card Services has evolved a comprehensive credit risk management process, which is fully integrated into new customer acquisition. Information on the merchant and his business model is already compiled during initial contact between a merchant, the Deutsche Bank, and Deutsche Card Services. For a great deal of information is required in order to make a thorough evaluation of the merchant. This includes detailed information on the company, its structure and business model, together with extensive information on collateral as well as its sales and profits history. Finally, a complete risk evaluation is conducted. If the result is positive, the agreement is sent out and the technical acquisition of the merchant begins. New clients must fulfill two criteria before the actual risk management process can begin. Firstly, completing the new client adoption and know your customer processes. Secondly, positive results from the card organization's compliance check. These conditions met, it is necessary to manage the risks of the merchant that derive from chargebacks. A special approach has been developed for this purpose. For periods during which such chargebacks may occur, a percentage of revenue can be held in reserve. This is known as a rolling reserve, whereby A percentage of the transaction volume is withheld from each payment and disbursed after 6 months on a rolling basis. The percentage depends on the risk involved in the business model, the industry, and the sales channel. It is stipulated in the merchant contract. The card acquiring business is not without risk. However, the far-reaching experience of Deutsche Bank in credit transactions and Deutsche Card Services' many years of expertise in the card business make the risk transparent and calculable. Deutsche Card Services. Delivering excellence. Deutsche Bank. Passion to perform.